This is a rubber ball that I found in a free box at a garage sale. I got it from my dog Norman, but when I got it home I decided to do a little research on it because it was in perfect condition, and I didn't see one for sale like it, but I thought I'd put it up. Maybe a prop company might want it, or a collector. And sure enough, it sold today for $25, and the buyer's ID is My Disney Layouts. So it's going to a fan. This is a classic Sony Sports Walkman. It's a cassette player and AM/FM radio. It's got some wear on it, but it does work. And it's got the belt clip and this pair of headphones, the MDR W014, which apparently in the world of collecting these Walkmans is a good thing to have, are those headphones. Perhaps that's why they sold. There's so many of these sports models out there for sale, but I did get $45 for this one. This is a wool blanket. It's made by Horner out of Eaton Rapids, Michigan. Obviously vintage. I'm beginning to find that there's a lot of companies out there that made wool blankets. I keep running across brand names I've never seen before. This is a nice plaid pattern, typical stadium blanket, throw, whatever. And this sold on a best offer of $32. They kind of priced it a little high at $60, and I've had it for about a year, so time to go. This is a Black & Decker Space Maker coffee maker. And this is an under cabinet design. Lots of times you'll see them listed as under counter, and I never understood that. Who would put one of these, or how could you put one of these under your counter? And this is an older model, but it's nice and clean and it works. But the best thing is it does have the mounting brackets. So often these are sold without the mounting brackets because people just leave them hooked up under their cabinets. And this still sold for $80. These are a couple of 7-inch reel-to-reel tapes. They are BASF brand. They came in their own little case here, and they have recorded music on them. It says what they were recorded on. I got these along with those tape recorders a couple years ago, and I probably had these tapes up for about a year now. They finally sold. I had them priced separately at $13 a piece, and one buyer bought both of them. Another classic trucker hat, this one featuring a International Harvester Combine, and this was made by Swingster in Kansas City. And this hat I've had up for probably close to a year, and I had it priced at $30, and it finally sold. I picked up a number of transportation related books. This is Electric Railways of Minnesota. Apparently it's a fairly rare book, in good shape, lots of pictures and maps, and was able to sell this for $40. This is another very old amateur radio. It's made by National, and this is an SW3 model. Very clean. It requires a special power supply, so I was unable to test it, and I sold it as is for parts or repair, and it sold for $350. This is a solid state power amplifier. Usually these were made in kit form, or you had to make them yourself, but you could have a factory do it. And I couldn't quite figure out when I took it apart and looked inside to clean it a little bit. Pretty professional job. It's called a Tigersaurus. I saw this at an auction. It was outside at the time, and I knew I had to get this. And I got it for $15. Nobody else was bidding on it. No other electronics nerds were there. And this is probably from the early 70s. I got it home, and after cleaning it up, checking the fuses, powered it up, and it worked just fine. And I priced it at $300, going on what some people were asking astronomical prices for these, and they weren't even working, but they hadn't sold either. And I got an offer last night of $200. I countered at $225 just to move this along in 1 week's time, and he accepted. This is another of these Hormel hats. This is a golf style hat. It's sort of a terry cloth sweatband on it, and the braided rope that are often accompanied with these golf style hats. And this sold for $20. This is a homemade amateur radio. This and another one I put up for sale, both of them, because I don't know anything about them. And I took extensive pictures and priced them at $90 for the pair. And I received a number of inquiries from the same gentleman about just this one. It's the only one he wanted, and I wasn't prepared to do another listing just to sell him one. But finally he made me a $45 offer for it, and I accepted that. Another one of these little pinup vignette books sold. This is Gil Evgren. Classic stuff. And this sold for $18. I spotted this black Maxell trucker style hat on a garage sale table, and knew right away that this would be worth some money, so he would grab this. Although it did take a few months. I think I found this over the summer. It finally did sell for $25. This is a flip number clock radio. These are quite common at garage sales, but usually don't bring a lot of money. I picked this one up because it's a Midland brand, which is a little bit rare, and it's a pretty large, I'd say, bedside clock radio. Everything works great on it, AM and FM, and so I decided to pick this one up for a couple dollars, and I listed it at $50. It did take quite a while, but finally did sell. $50. I found this vintage bottle of Old Spice at an estate sale because I checked the bathroom. Often find old perfume and cologne in there. And this sold for $40. This is a John C. Green painting. It's a print, but it is signed. And he is a local artist. I don't know anything about him, but I picked this up locally because it had a collie in it. But it just wasn't featured enough as my other collie paintings, and this is a little bit not my style. And so I put it up for sale for $150 after paying about $10 for it locally. And someone locally bought it. And so I don't have to pack this up. And they made an offer of $130, which I agreed to immediately. This was a garage sale find for just like 50 cents. It's a Holiday Inn trucker hat. That's a classic vintage Holiday Inn script. And this sold for $20. I find these fur hats, they're generally men's fur hats, at garage sales quite often for $1 or $2. And you can always find that they're union made on the label. It's in pretty good condition. Has the ear flaps, especially good when we have temperatures like these in Sioux Falls. I think it was 23 degrees below zero when I woke up this morning. And this one sold for $25. Finally sold my vintage Toastolator. This is the conveyor belt kind of walks your toast through. You can see the coils glowing, and then it pops out the other side. This is from 1948. It's got a fabric covered cord. It's in really good shape. I mean, it's got minor scratches from cleaning it over the years, but it's not dented or rusted, and it works fine. I made a quick video of making some toast with it. There's usually about 4 or 5 of these for sale at any one time, and they're generally priced between $150 and $300. And I priced mine at $250. And yesterday I got an offer of $150. I almost took it because this has been up since the summertime, but I countered at 200 and he bought it right away. Another box of light bulbs sold, these little Duralamp miniature lamps. The only thing I got on these is they're a number 47, which is sort of a universal gauging system for these little lamps. And I bought about a large quantity of these from somebody for $20, and I've been selling them for $10 a piece. And they sell once every couple of weeks. This is a little Hot Wheels Cobra car. This, I mean, you'll see guys at garage sales sometimes going through tubs of miniature cars like this. I would never do that, just too time consuming, and I'm not a collector. But this, along with probably 1,000 more, came in a huge lot of hobby equipment that I bought last summer. And this one sold for $30. This is a vintage Harmony ukulele. It's a baritone uke, and which makes it the largest of the ukulele. And it's tuned up like a guitar rather than the typical ukulele tuning. I found this at an auction that featured lots of antiques in this house. And a lot of knowledgeable buyers. Stuff went very high. I only bought a couple of items, including this. This was a choice of 3 guitars, and the other ones were just, I wouldn't even have considered buying them or taking them if they were free. Yet this one remained, and I was able to get it for $3, and it sold for $190. This pair of Durango brand cowboy boots are pretty well distressed. They came in a box lot, and I put them up for $30, but they've sat for almost a year now, so I let them go for $15. Somebody got a great deal. Another small part from the Marantz amplifiers that I've dismantled. This is the faceplate bolt, very small, and it's what holds the front of the amplifier on. And they're particular to these Marantz models. And this one sold for $12. I've probably sold half a dozen of these over the past few years. It adds up.